For our poetry video today, we're going to be talking about different poetry elements, which are just things that relate to poetry, and then you'll get the chance to try some in poems that you write. So one element of poetry is meter. Meter you might have heard of in music class as well. It's a rhythmic pattern in poetry. It's usually repeated, and it can be measured in beats by counting syllables. Whose woods these are, I think I know. It kind of has a rhythm, and you can kind of hear it as you read the words. Another thing that poetry is meant to do is to have a mood and have you kind of feel a certain way. It's the emotion that you're the reader, feel when you are reading a poem. For many poems, the main purpose is to set a mood. In fourth grade, we focus more on a funny mood or a happy mood, but as you get older, you'll study some deeper meaning poems that are meant to make you feel different things like sadness and fear, things like that. The reflection in the river sparkled is kind of a peaceful mood. The words that you choose are really important in poetry because it's not a long piece of writing like a story. So the words that you choose need to have a certain purpose. A fun thing to use in poems is something called onomatopoeia, one of my favorite words just because it sounds fun to say. And it's the use of words whose sounds suggest the sounds or actions described. So an example would be bang, ding, pop. You can also do splash, splat, bam, boom, anything like that. A word that is also a sound. There's also a rhyme scheme, and that's a pattern in the rhymes. You can assign a letter to the end of each line, and if it rhymes with another end of a different line, then it has the same letter. So for instance, this pattern is roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you. So we know that blue and you rhyme. So red is assigned letter A. Blue does not rhyme with red, so it's assigned letter B. Sweet does not rhyme with red, and it does not rhyme with blue, so it gets letter C. And then when we get to the word you, it rhymes with blue, so it's also assigned letter B. Rhythm is a musical quality of a poem using alliteration, which is a repeated sound, meter, which is the beat of it, repetition, or rhyme. So twinkle, twinkle, little star. A lot of songs that you think of started as poetry, and they became song lyrics and were put to music. Personification is when you give things that are not human the personalities and actions of humans. The wind whistled its happy tune. So we'll try this on one of our poems where you give an everyday object kind of its own personality and kind of think about the perspective that object might have. So the wind whistling is kind of like people are able to whistle. Repetition is to repeat sounds, words, phrases, or whole lines in a poem. Leaving my friends, leaving my home, leaving my room, leaving my memories. You kind of get the sense of the mood of that poem too. Leaving, 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 leaving. Obviously there's a theme to that poem. Somebody's sad about having to move on. Rhyme is words that end in the same sound, which is called end rhyme, school tool rule. So sometimes if you want your poem to rhyme, it's helpful to make a list and brainstorm different words that rhyme before you try to put them in a poem. Okay, so the quatrain uses the rhythm of the poem and the pattern of ending sounds. Quatrain is 4, just like cuatro is 4 in Spanish. So it's a poem with only 4 lines. When I came upon a snake, I didn't know what to do. I stood scared and frozen. He was frightened too. So the ending words are snake, do, frozen, to. And we know do and to rhyme, so that's why it's an A, B, C, B pattern. So you can try your own quatrain. You kind of could hear the rhythm of that poem too. When I came upon a snake, I didn't know what to do. I stood scared and frozen. He was frightened too. And it kind of has a rhythm to it. So a quatrain is a poem you can try. A diamante is a poem that's in the shape of a diamond. So it starts off in line 1. It's just one word for your topic, which is a noun, a person, a place, or a thing. Line 2 is 2 adjectives that describe the noun in line 1. Line 3 is 3 ing words. Those will be actions or verbs. Line 4 is always kind of a tricky one because it's a phrase. It's not a whole sentence, but it's 4 nouns about noun 1, or you could put it into a phrase about the topic. Then in this Diamante, they're changing it into the antonym, which is the opposite. 4 nouns about noun 2. So you're going to end with a different topic than you start with. Ing words, 3. 2 adjectives, and you're going to end up with the opposite of your first noun will be your last word. And so you start with 1 word per line, 2 words, 3, then 4, and then it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, which is what helps it become the shape of a diamond. So the example on here, morning, light, fresh, waking, eating, brushing, pancakes, dew, sunrise, orange juice, moon, stars, pillow, pajamas, reading, yawning, sleeping, dark, quiet, night. So this Diamante starts with one topic and turns into the opposite of that topic. So give that one a try.